Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the final rounds of the Winter Series for the BSR TC. It's in the rallycross cars, of course, the VW Beetle and the Ford Fiesta. Tonight, the final 4 races of the season come to you from Donington Park in the United Kingdom. Mercifully, hi Andrew Woodhouse, by the way, and mercifully, Alex Simpson, this is a snow-free round, even though I think these cars would have been able to cope, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they've had any issues whatsoever. It's just been a lot more fun. Four-wheel donuts in the snow. Could go wrong. But
I bet you've been doing that anyway, haven't you?
No, I've been sensible. I've been sensible, but yeah.
You've got 4-wheel drive as well, man. What's wrong with you?
Well, it's my dad's car that's 4-wheel drive, so I can drive it. But I don't think he'd appreciate me 4-wheel donutting it at the bottom of the road.
You might do if he's in it while you're doing it. Ross McFarland on pole then, ahead of Steve Hefford, Thorstein Helgeson in 3rd, Stephen Burke 4th, Craig McLeod-Evans 5th, Michael Evdoka in 6th, Shannon Mason 7th, 8th for Max Wright, Callum Spencer in 9th, Taylor Lane 10th, and Jake Sperry is 11th. That is the 11-car field. In the championship, Ross McFarland leads the way by 176 points. He's got a very good chance of taking the title, of course, tonight. Michael Evdoka is the man who's really tasked with stopping him, 176 points behind Stephen Burke, minus 424. Then it's Helgeson in 4th, Joe McDonald 5th, Nico Foggy in 6th, Scott Malcolm 7th, Callum Spencer 8th, Josh Thompson 9th, and Kip Stevens in 10th in the team's championship. Northern Lights Racing over 500 points clear. Very difficult for anybody to stop them. 8-lap race, Alex, 4 of them. What are we expecting to see? Because Donington, it's a little different to some of the places we've been so far this season. It's a little more open. It's a little longer, I think, than some of the tracks.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll see some. I think we'll see some people taking some liberties with like the runoffs and things like that. But actually, I think this will be another one of those tracks that'll be great.
Early green light. Apologies to the viewers at home, but that was supposed to be at 2 minutes. It was at 1 minute 30. So here we go. Ross McFarland into the first corner first, ahead of Hefford. Hefford tries to cut back.
Getting a load of feedback from your headphones at the minute, mate. I don't know if you can just turn your sim down just a fraction.
It's only in my ears. I don't know what to do. I'll mute myself. Give me a second. Carry on.
Big crash going on behind. It's okay, it wasn't you. It was the broadcast.
It was you, wasn't it?
It was the broadcast one. It was the broadcast one. It wasn't me.
Here we go then. That's the one. That's the one technical issue out there. Ross McFarland. I thought it wasn't me. Ross McFarland going down the back straight there, where the DRS zone usually is for the Formula 1 cars. iRacing. No DRS in these rallycross cars, of course. Farland from Hefford, then Evdoka in 3rd, and then it's Evans. Evdoka has to win this race, you would feel. He's got any chance of taking the championship. Callum Spencer is in 5th. He's in no man's land a little bit. Then it's Burke, then it's Lane, then it's Sperry, and then it's Wright. Mason into the pits, and then Helgeson coming through. But here's Hefford challenging through Hollywood and thinking about a go into the Craner curves. Evdoka is on the traditional line. Hefford, a bit of a tighter entry, and Evdoka is jockeying for position. He's trying to find a way through on the Ford Fiesta in the VW Beetle.
Yeah, desperate, isn't he, to get by at the minute? You can just see it really. He's able to almost place his car wherever he wants to try and sort of open up some angles to get the run. Remember, with these rallycross cars, the gear ratios are so short for track racing that they're usually going to peak out way before the end of the straight. So it's all about absolutely getting alongside coming out of the corners.
I wonder if he's going to go up the inside here into the national chicane. I think he is. But he does set up Hefford. He goes wide. Could allow him to draw closer. However, these cars have got so much grip on the grass with that four-wheel drive system that it really didn't hurt Hefford too much.
Didn't lose any momentum at all, did he?
Neither does the leader as he goes off McFarlane. Oh, and there's the contact. Evdoka. He saw the door slightly ajar, and he thought, well, I'm going to try and come through. The old hairpin is a potential overtaking place. Oh, not on this occasion. He gets the back end out. Evdoka.
Great battle between these two, though. Obviously, Steve using all of the tracking a bit more. Michael not needing to, and yeah, perhaps getting a bit frustrated that Steve's coming off and then going off and then coming back on and perhaps blocking him when he feels like he's got a nose up the inside.
It's rallycross racing, I guess, though, isn't it?
Indeed.
It's a different kind of racing to what you'd get in, regular circuit racing. I know this is circuit racing essentially, but realistically, it's the rallycross league. Are you slightly surprised, Alex, that we didn't see an actual rallycross race in this? Can you race on these courses without the heat format on some of these? Can you race on the dirt? Oh! And then Docker just gets into him.
Yeah, I think he can. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. But yeah, up the inside.
I'm kind of surprised we maybe didn't see like a
especially
dirt
when,
oval or something potentially.
Yeah, especially when the season sort of tailed off with the entrance, and to start off with, there were just too many people.
Could have maybe done some heat races, like a special event or something. Oh, here we go, they've hit each other again. And look at Craig McLeod Evans, he's undercut, here he comes. On the inside on Evdoka, he might even try and get Hefford as well into, I think that's Coppis, sorry.
Great move, really. Saw them battling. And
just sucker punched him.
Yeah, Evdoka back up the inside, got a much better run coming out of Coppis. I think that was more because Craig was having a look. Yeah. Oh, and they're going to... it's got to be back, surely. Well, although we saw, didn't we, last lap from Hefford, really doesn't hurt you that much. Side by side, this is exactly what Steve needs to try and scamper away, but McFarlane, he's gone in the distance now.
He is indeed. And Evdoka's about as happy as the Arsenal fans right about now, losing 3-0 after half an hour. Dear me. Alex, that's a kick up the rear end if ever there was one.
Yep, indeed.
And Evdoka again must feel like... Must feel a bit worse after that. I think he's got a slow down penalty too.
Yeah.
And that might be his championship done and dusted. We'll see. It's not over mathematically for him, but if he loses more points now, Alex, he will need 2 DNS from McFarlane. Whereas at the moment, 1, well, it probably still needs 2, let's face it. Might need 3 if he loses any more points. Because there just aren't enough other drivers in the races to...
This is the problem, isn't it?
If he finishes lower down, the points are going to be low enough for Evdoka to capitalise. They're not going to be at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly the issue Michael's got, really.
Lap times then. Ross McFarlane, 106.940. Steve Hefford, 106.990. So very, very close between the two of them. Evans in third, 107.3. Evdoka, 109.5 because of the slowdown. Stephen Burke, fastest man on the circuit at the moment. In the VW Beetle, 106.687. That's a quick time from Burke. Then Spencer behind Lane. Sperry and Wright having a good battle here then for 8th and 9th positions. Sperry sliding the car into the old hairpin. He got a much better turn in than Max Wright did that time. Wright with a slightly better exit though. Up the hill into its old hall corner, isn't it? And Sperry's putting the car in the middle of the circuit, doing the right thing, going over to the left just to, when he knows he's clear, he's not defending fresh air out there. Good driving down the back straight then. on these two. You can see that Thorstein Helgeson's getting interested in this one, Alex, as well. He's only 2 seconds behind now. Sperry hits the curve hard. Wright makes absolutely no bones about trying to stay within the white lines there.
Yeah, 2 seconds has come down to 1.1, so like you say, Thorstein's right there as well. It's going to be a good couple of laps between these guys.
We've seen Max Wright's interpretation of which way the course goes when we were at Virginia, but this one not quite up with that standard. I'm sorry, Max. I had to say. McFarlane by 2.4 then. Slightly slower lap that time as well, 7.2. So lost a quarter of a second.
And if Doka closing back in on Craig Evans as well, so.
Burke's flying too. He's going to be in this battle potentially before the end of the race. We're on lap 7 of 8, and very fast and furious contest here at Donington Park. And the
mistake, Craig, big time mistake. Although manages to plant his car on the apex, and that's allowed or basically prevented if Doka from getting the run through.
But it just completely stifled him, didn't it?
Yeah, completely.
Oh, in he goes.
Oh no. Oh well. Okay.
He's through. Evans with momentum.
Surely just let him go there.
That was a bit too. You gave him a bit too much room. I mean, maybe he just got caught out by surprise and maybe didn't
fuel.
Want to risk turning in, you know?
Maybe saving fuel or something like that.
Possible. I mean, it is a power-hungry circuit for these cars, isn't it? Like fairly long straights. You know, slightly longer straights than what these cars are maybe used to. Sperry and Wright still battling. In fact, Helgeson's got ahead of Wright. Might be pressuring Jake Sperry by the end of the race. But Ross McFarlane down the back straight. He's only got the national chicane to go, and then he's going to be crowned race 1 winner and takes another step closer to the title of the Winter Series. Ross McFarlane for Northern Lights Racing comes across. He takes the checkered flag. Hefford's in second. Who's going to be third? It's going to be Evdoka, is it? It is, and Evans desperately trying something. I'm not quite sure what. Oh, I wondered if Spencer was out of fuel. Don't think he is. Helgeson's managed to get Sperry on the final corner, and Sperry ahead of Wright then, and then in 11th is Mason. It was a slowdown for Jake Sperry, Alex, and he had to serve that on the long back straight, and that's what did him really. Slightly cut the course. Oh, did he cut the course? I don't know if he did. Let's have a look back. Unless he had it to serve from slightly earlier in the lap. Oh yeah, he cut the course at Coppice. He was just trying to gain that extra half a tenth that would have meant that he could have stayed ahead of Helgeson. But it was an intrepid line, but the result wasn't exactly what he wanted. Good race, Alex. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, good one to start the meeting off. Yeah, so for 3 more, just the same. I always thought this was going to be a good circuit for the racing here.
Well, Shannon Mason's going to be starting on pole position then when we return. We're on Apex Racing TV, first to 4 tonight, as the BSR Winter Series continues here. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, the BSR Winter Series. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson with you. And we're on the grid at Donington for round 2 of 4 this evening in the final race meeting of this season. Shannon Mason on pole, Max Wright second, Jake Sperry third, Thorstein Helgeson fourth, fifth for Taylor Lane, sixth Callum Spencer, seventh Stephen Burke, eighth Craig McLeod-Evans, ninth Michael Docker, Steve Hefford in 10th. And 11th is championship leader Ross McFarlane. Here we go. Getting ready for the start then. Green light is on. What a start by Mason. He flew away from the line. Max Wright was really slow away. Jake Sperry with a good start. And he's up into second place. Into the first corner. Spencer's been turned around slightly. He manages to get it back, facing the right way as, oh, they're nearly 3 wide in the middle. Cars having to disperse. They were trying to get round one of the Northern Lights racing cars who was slow. I think it was Taylor Lane. Michael Evdoker's on the grass. He's going to have a big slowdown, I would imagine, in this first lap. But Shannon Mason leading the way.
Into the wall. I think that is Craig. Yeah.
Evans, is it? Yeah. Sperry versus Burke. Sperry's gone wide. He loses a position. He loses 2 positions. He loses 3 positions. And Hefford tries to make it 4. He hits Sperry. Sperry goes round. It hits. I'm not sure who that was. Who was that he hit? It was Wright, wasn't it? Who made the slow start? Must have been to the right.
Bit unfortunate. He just got out there, and that's like a situation where very similar to a freight train, isn't it? We're just offline and you can't do nothing. You haven't got the momentum.
Hefford and like he tried to force the issue. And
yeah, I felt that a little. He kind of like he wanted to go through as well at the same time. Perhaps just a little bit impatient there, and wasn't really the room to do that. But
sometimes though, we've seen you have to take, if you get that one opportunity, you've got to take it. Hefford is well off the course.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going there.
He's got some damage because he's not looking too happy out there. Ross McFarlane just ahead of him. He's up to 7th. He's up to 6th, sorry, now Max Wright in 5th, and 4th is Helgeson, then it's Spencer, Burke and Mason leading the way.
You don't know quite what went on with Mason the last race.
He wasn't up there, was he?
No, not at all, and yeah, showing a good turn of performance now.
McFarlane's gone past Wright. Hefford wants to do the same. Wright might have to defend here, but he does have a slipstream off McFarlane. McFarlane moves to the middle of the course. Trying to take the best line through the national chicane.
Steve went through as well.
He does. Good pass.
Steve needs to go through, and this is why he's making those moves. He can't let Ross get away. They were very similar on pace the last time, but he got away, didn't he, in the early laps, and that really stopped Steve having a run at him. So,
yeah, you know, the championship, yes, it's up for grabs, but it's most of the drivers just here for the racing tonight, and they want those race victories to add to their tally. Shannon Mason, he desperately wanted to get one himself. And just looking at the stats, where is Shannon Mason on the list? You know what? I don't know. I haven't seen him on the list. I don't think he's on the list. You know. I don't think he's actually in the championship standings. You know.
Oh well, here comes Steve Burke though, having a little look. He's definitely done a couple of races, so I'm not sure why
he's done two meetings. He's not on there. I can't see him on the list whatsoever. So I'm not sure exactly what that is, and I'm not imagining that. So yeah, who knows? The admins to try and sort that out, just to so we can see a final standing sheet at some point, but. He's now under pressure from Stephen Burke, and Burke, despite the fact he didn't have a fantastic qualifying, he is one of the faster men on the track, and he was the fastest man on the track in race 1. So Mason, he was very quick at Summit Point, and I wonder if he's going to maintain that. He's maybe not quite as quick this week.
Steve's quietly got faster and faster, hasn't he, over the season in this car?
He's getting back into the swing of iRacing potentially, isn't he? And getting back into the swing of league racing.
Will he be back for the touring car next year? Do we know?
Who knows? I've forgotten the list. I will try and find that out for you.
You can hear him topping out. Right, it's not too bad actually. It's right at the end of the straights this time, but still not what you want when you're tucked up in the slipstream trying to make some moves.
I do have the entry list. Just having a little quick look through. He doesn't look to be on there, but you never know, I guess. Anyone can turn up in the BSRTC, let's face it. We've seen NASCAR Peak Anti-Freeze Series champions. We've seen several race winners of big events. I mean, this season, you know, we're going to get the likes of Isaac Price and people like that coming, the likes of yourself. And you know, it's going to be a good one, I think. Jamie Fluke's in there.
Looking forward to it, actually. Going to be a good blast.
Rory Butcher, British touring car driver. Ashley Sutton, British touring car champion. And then several drivers who've been, you know, in and around the local categories. And
oh, good battle here. Sorry, Andy, to cut you off, but with Thorstein Helgeson, McFarlane, Hefford, nothing between them right now.
It's looking good down the corner curves, isn't it? I didn't want to speak too soon just in case something happened, but still pretty close at the front. Burke doesn't seem to be able to, can get very close, can't he? But he doesn't seem to be able to find a way through. Well, obviously he doesn't, because, you know, he's not in front. That was a bit of a stupid thing to say. He's not making many opportunities, is what I was trying to say. He hasn't had any really good chances to go through.
He's got the pace as well, just not putting that final bit of pressure on that we saw, say, from Evdoka in the first race, you know?
Yeah, because he was right behind him, wasn't he? And he did force an error in the end. Using a bit more of the track, I suppose. Is Burke going wide at the exit of the final corner? Mason's tidy though, isn't he? You know, he's a solid driver, and it seems like he's not going to make that many mistakes out there.
You know, I think that's the key thing though, especially with this car, because you can't just use the draft to get by. You know, if you can focus on getting the exits right, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to get by.
Yeah, that's it. And outbrake is probably the best strategy, because you know it is quite a difficult car to slow down. You wouldn't think it would be, given the type of racing that it does. But yeah, it's not the easiest thing to get stopped. Is the Fiesta or the Beetle? So I've known from my experiences anyway. I was sat 20th in the championship, I'll have you know, before this race meeting. Too bad considering. But
side by side through the final chicane for Evdoka and Hefford. Michael got to just sort of time that really well, and I think he's going to try and box in Steve here behind Thorstein Helgeson if he can.
Well, Steve's got the middle. It's going to all come together, and there it is. Helgeson gets hit. He's off into the gravel.
You never want to be the man on the outside, do you, in that situation?
Because Evdoka has to try and make the corner slightly wider, and the man on the outside doesn't want to get he doesn't want to, Helgeson, he doesn't want to be left out there hung out to dry, does he? So, yeah, it's always going to happen. I think nothing more than a racing incident in that one.
Yeah, no, exactly that.
You can't put any blame on anybody in particular, I think, on that one. Now Burke's close, and now he's attacking. It's the final lap. Don't tell me that... Oh, I thought Mason was moving to the inside because I thought he had a slowdown. Please don't tell me he has, and he has. He's got a slowdown on the final lap. Burke's going to come through. Burke's going to win it. Shannon Mason. That is one way to throw away the win. And he'll be gutted without Stephen Burke. He will not be gutted at all. Extremely happy. He comes through. And he takes the win. And for Burke, that's his second one of the season. McFarlane comes through in third. It was close behind. He was very close for 7th place. Helgeson just getting there ahead of Steve Hefford, Taylor Lane, coming across in ninth. By the way, and then we're still waiting on Sperry and Evans, who've both got damage, but it's Burke taking the win from Mason. McFarlane third, Spencer fourth, Evdoka in fifth, Wright sixth, Helgeson seventh, Hefford eighth, Lane in ninth, and there's Sperry over the line, and here comes Evans. He's trying to Scandinavian flick it through the final corner. I'll say just about past that examination. I would say. Not too bad. I don't see the police. End of it. I don't see the police queuing up to add him to the advanced driving course anytime soon. But it's not bad. I'll have to say it wasn't bad. I will say I was putting myself down earlier on. You did laugh when I said I was 20th in the championship, but 47 drivers have took part this season in at least one race.
It's a shame, really, isn't it, when you think about it like that we just couldn't hold on to some of these guys.
Well, that's it.
Imagine 30 of them trying to go around. It was amazing the first round of the season.
Yeah, we had some great races earlier on. But, you know, maybe for the next one, if they do another one like this, then maybe we'll get some more participation, because I think I have actually enjoyed this series, apart from I think there was 1 week. It was 1 week where I didn't. But yeah, the rest of it's been pretty good and been an enjoyable way to spend a Thursday evening. Obviously, touring cars coming back soon, but yeah, for now, that'll be it for the second race. So we're back for 2 more, and we've got that for you after the break here on Apex Racing TV. Stick with us for the second half of the action. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Race 3 is about to get underway here in the BSR Winter Series. 2 races to go this season, and Ross McFarlane could take the title with a good performance here. Craig Evans on pole, Jake Sperry second, Taylor Lane third, Steve Hefford fourth, Thorstein Helgeson fifth, Max Wright sixth, Michael Evdoka seventh, Callum Spencer eighth, Ross McFarlane in ninth, Shannon Mason 10th, and Steve Burke in 11th in one race 2. And we're about to get underway in race 3. Another 8 laps await us. 25 kilometers, 80 corners. Here we go, drivers getting ready for the start. Green light is on. What a good start that was by Jake Sperry. He's got up into the lead, then into the first corner. Sperry gonna sweep all the way around the outside, and Evans understeers and he hits Sperry. Sperry's around, he's been hit by Mason.
Jake is not having a night at all, is he? To remember last one of the season, he just wish it was gone, I think.
Evans didn't make the corner, Alex, and Sperry the unfortunate victim, and he made such a good start, did Jake? Oh, and they're all off in the background as well. And 32 is Taylor Lane. He's trying to take the lead away from Craig Evans, and there's contact between the Northern Lights racing cars. Michael and Douglas says, thank you.
No!
And they're off in big style. Off goes.
Yeah, properly nailed each other.
Evans is around, Lane carries on. He's not going to be happy with that. Taylor Lane. Well, I mean, maybe it tastes of his own medicine for Evans in terms of that first corner, but yeah, gosh. Let's just see then who is sitting where. Michael Evdoka is going to come through and lead the first lap, but Ross McFarlane from the penultimate row of the grid is only 0.2 of a second off the lead after 1 lap of the track, Alex. That's how bad the lap was for everybody else. And McFarlane looks like he's going to try and take the lead away from Evdoka, take the championship away from him as well. Thorstein Helgeson's in third, fourth is Stephen Burke, fifth Taylor Lane, sixth is Evans, then it's Hefford, Mason, Wright, and Sperry's in last place, but and in the pits is Spencer, and I think that's his race run. Some damage on the first lap. Let's bump into his chances. Oh, slow down for McFarlane. He's had to drop behind Burke then. So that's 4th place, 5th place down there. One of the Northern Lights racing cars that's cut the course. That was Taylor Lane again, not taking the ideal line of course there. Effort undercuts him, Lane drops to the back of the field. Down to 10th, down to 9th place. So Evdoka leads, Helgeson in second, Burke in third, then it's Evans, then it's Mason, then it's McFarlane. And Mason, Mason with a big sideways coming out the last corner. McFarlane made a hash of it as well. Here's Hefford. Lane trying to have a look on right as well. That's coming from a long way back. I don't think that's going to work particularly well. And it isn't. Right, with a good exit. Should stymie that attempt. Although, having said that, Lane's got a better drive down the Craners than Hollywood.
So let's say Wright left the room as well, didn't he? He didn't need to at all.
Going through there. Hefford versus McFarlane through the old hairpin. Now they climb up the hill through McLean's. Indeed, isn't it? Mason just in front of Hefford. Mason with understeer. Hefford says, I'll have a little bit of that action. Oh, he nearly quarter panels it. Here comes McFarlane. Well, they say 3's a crowd, Alex, and they're about to try and fit 3 rallycross cars into quite a small piece of track. Hefford hits Mason. McFarlane says, thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through into fifth position.
Did Mason get a slowdown for that as well? Even though he got the nudge from behind?
Punted across the track, didn't he? Across the chicane. Quite sure. Doka then on his merry way. 2.2 seconds he leads Stephen. Well, he led Helgeson, and Burke's actually got through into turn 1. So good move there by Stephen Burke. His way through the field. Helgeson is in third. And Craig Evans, who on the last lap was a little slower than these two, to try and get a gear, but of course he has that big damage from the contact with his teammate. Amazingly, Evans, after being pretty much unceremoniously dumped off the track, Alex, is somehow in 4th place.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how he managed to get there, and we're quite a margin behind those guys.
Shows how well everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the guys battling behind, obviously dropping back, but then, yeah, I think if Helgeson and Burke have a little battle, then he could find himself in 2nd.
Yeah, even Jake Sperry, after being spun around, is only 3 or 4 seconds off the back of the field here. Evans with a horrible line in the first corner. That looked absolutely appalling. Rubbish handling there, it looks like, for that Ford Fiesta. It does not look like it's helping him much at all. Evdoka leading the way, Burke 2nd, 3rd is Helgeson. Just a quick word, Alex, we'd missing the trick if we didn't talk about the March build of iRacing and all the things that are coming up in there. We're going to have the 2 LMP1 Beast, the Porsche and the Audi, the hybrid cars, and then you were telling me that the new Indy car is going to be in that as well.
Yep, Pocono rescan as well for anyone who likes a little bit of oval racing.
I do.
Yeah, yeah, a good build, and I think there was a road one that was either being rescanned or redone that just hasn't quite made it, which is I was gutted because I'm hoping it's Silverstone, but I bet it won't be.
There could be a patch for that. Isn't thingy going to be in there? Charlotte Road Course, isn't that coming?
I believe there's a couple of dirt
ones.
Yeah, there's some rallycross stuff as well that's coming in, but I kind of just gloss over the dirt stuff because yeah, I just
you're not interested in it.
It just doesn't really interest me, no.
It's fair enough. I tried it. I wasn't very good at it. It interests me, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not very good. Just like all the other bits in the race, it's all interesting, but I can't do it. Evdoka leads the way, and Burke by 3 seconds. And let's see the lap times. Evdoka actually half a second quicker on that lap, so pulling away from Helgeson 2, Evans 108.6, McFarlane 108.7, Efford 108.4, and somehow McFarlane is actually still ahead. Mason also 108.4, he's managed to find his pace again. Max Wright 109.1, Taylor Lane 112.4, looks like struggling out there, also struggling is Jake Sperry, but when you look at the rear end of that Ford Fiesta, you do not wonder why, because that is crumpled, that is tattered and torn, battered and bruised, and he's doing well just to keep going, I think, at this point.
Oh, Craig makes a mistake just as he was starting to close in on Helgeson. Lost a little bit of time there.
We're only 1.5 laps from the finish here, mate, already. This race has gone very, very quickly indeed. Just, a word for the track temperature out there. It's actually 40 degrees C out there, so
even more slightly.
Yeah. Kind of the opposite of Alex Simpson's garage at this point.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But it's definitely meaning that the drivers are having to be maybe slightly more careful with the tyres, and we've seen a lot of understeer coming into play for these guys. It was a bit like that the first meeting of the season, the Brands Hatch round, the one that was cancelled in the end. Because I think it was, the conditions were too kind to the tyres. Evdoka looks like he's finding it difficult out there as well. His lap times have, they've stayed fairly constant, and that's pretty outstanding work actually, Alex. Since lap 2, he's done 6 laps. His fastest lap is a 7.8. His slowest lap is an 8.2. Great consistency.
Now he's having some fun out there, doing some drifting, and why not? He's got a 5.5 second lead before he started to have a bit of fun.
So we'd say in Australia, no dramas.
Yeah.
And he's not Australian at all, but still. Mason's up in 7th. 8th is Wright. Lane and Sperry might have a battle by the end of this race. Lane's drifting it around. Sperry's making the best of a bad situation. I think it's going to get quite close. If Evdoka rounds Coppice and he's making his way towards the final chicane for the last time. And he's going to take a very, very well-deserved win, assuming he manages to take this chicane without spinning round.
Oh well, there you go.
Stephen Burke again.
Thank you very much.
On the final corner, showboat at your peril. Stephen Burke is just... He'll be absolutely delusional out there.
Yep, thank you.
Everything's happening. Burke from Helgeson from Hefford. If Doka hasn't even finished yet. He's come across in 7th place. Dear me, Burke, Helgeson, Hefford, Evans. But Farland in 5th. Pretty sure he's the champion by now. Shannon Mason in 6th. If Doka's 7th, don't know what he was thinking. Having a bit of fun out there, I suppose, but do not throw away the win. Max Wright in 8th, Taylor Lane 9th, Jake Sperry 10th, and Callum Spencer in 11th. And that's one of the most bizarre things I've seen in a while. Is that reminds me of the lady who was doing the snowboard cross in the Winter Olympics a few years ago, and she was showboating over the last jump. She fell and she lost the gold medal. That's what happened here.
That's it. Just as just as important that as well, really, for Doka.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh crap.
But never mind. It is what it is. Poor Michael. He'll come back for the last race anyway. He gets a decent starting position. He gets starting 5th in the final race of the season. The season ends after the break. We're on Apex Racing TV. Stay with us for the final one. It's the final race of the BSR Winter Series with the Rallycross cars here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson bringing you all the action from our last tilt around the Donington Park circuit in the United Kingdom. It's been a fun season. We've enjoyed it, actually, and it's just a shame that we haven't had the big grids that we started the season with, but it's been a fun series to cover. And we're going to see, I think, a good final race, Alex. I'm hoping it will be anyway.
Yeah, me too. I don't see any reason why we won't. We've actually had 3 good races so far tonight. Lots of little individual battles and things like that going on out there, which is kind of what we expected. And yeah, let's have just a great one to finish the season off. I think there's no question now. Obviously, it's all signed, sealed, and delivered for Ross. So congrats to him and Northern Lights Racing.
Yeah, indeed. Ross McFarlane is the champion. Callum Spencer will start on pole position for race 4 then. Jake Sperry in second. Can he replicate the start of race 3 that he had? Taylor Lane in third. Max Wright 4th. Michael Evdoka 5th. Shannon Mason 6th. 7th, Ross McFarlane. Craig McLeod-Evans in 8th. Steve Hefford 9th. Thorstein Helgeson in 10th. Stephen Burke 11th. And Kip Stevens has popped in to say hello. He's on the back of the grid in 12th place. Almost ready then. We're just waiting for Callum Spencer. And then round 44 of 44 will get underway. There's Spencer. And here come the lights. Ready for the start then at Donington. Green light is on. Once again, Sperry gets away really well. Also getting away well is Mason. He's already above Max Wright. He's had a really bad start. Again, Spencer getting all kinds of sideways. Sperry trying to take advantage. They might be battling down the Craner curves then. They're all flying down there at high speed, Alex. This could be quite hairy at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, much better start. No shenanigans this time. Like you say, it's all going to be down here at the old hairpin if it's going to kick off. Pretty good. Nice good start for the final race of the championship.
Yeah, Taylor Lane off. The grass. Sperry's still in second. He's trying to chase down Spencer, doing a good job of it as well. If Dorker's in there, Spencer's got to slow down Jake Sperry into the lead. Then car 1, P1 on lap 1.
Yeah, he needs to catch a break, doesn't he? He's had 3 shockers so far tonight. Someone else with a slowdown as well coming out of Coppice. Not sure who that was.
Oh,
Mason.
Up the inside. Oh, and Sperry's lost the rear. He's locked up. He's locked the rears. As Alex always says about brake bias there, you've got to be careful not to lock the rears, and Sperry off into the gravel and down to 8th place. But McFarlane is now in the lead. Evdoka putting his nose on the inside. McFarlane already making his way up from what was 7th on the grid. And he makes his way through quickly, doesn't he? And without Foggy here, Alex, he's really been the star of the show, of course.
Yeah, he has for the last...
his own. He was in front of Foggy, of course.
That's it, for the last few weeks. But those guys were very evenly matched. It would have been good to have seen that go all the way down to the wire.
What is going to be good is the 2 best drivers in the championship, Ross McFarlane and Michael Evdoka. They're going to be battling it out for the win in the final race, which is going to be fantastic for us to see. And also the surprisingly quick Craig Evans. He was surprised himself by that. Stephen Burke, who's been probably the fastest man out there tonight, he's going to be in... He's hoping to be in 4th place at the end of this lap, ahead of Taylor Lane. So yeah, McFarlane and Evdoka, they're battling. Evdoka's alongside. He's going to be going through into turn 1 here. Late on the brakes. McFarlane's trying to use all the momentum in the Beetle, but he slid the car in the middle of the corner and he just scrubbed the tyres too much, Alex, and he could not get that exit that they needed.
It's all about personal pride now, isn't it? The championship's gone, but Evdoka wants to beat the 2, well, the 3 Northern Lights Racing guys that are behind him right now, so...
Hefford versus Taylor Lane. That's for 5th. That's for 4th and 5th positions behind as well. Hefford's got a good run here. He might go up the inside into Coppice. He does. Good move there. be up to him now, mate, to try and close that gap of 2 seconds.
Yeah, they're battling enough ahead that I think he'll get there. Obviously 5 laps to go as they come across the line now. Leading trio. A few cars drop back. We could just see him in the distance as McFarlane has a little look up the inside. It's the thing here with Donington. That first corner is so inviting, isn't it? You want to get as far over to the left for the optimal line, but don't have to leave the door open if you do that.
Yeah, that's true. Many different ways to attack the course here at Donington Park. It's one of the tracks actually where in at least some of the corners you can afford to be fast in and slow out, but some acceleration zones pretty long here. It's one of those circuits, Alex, where I think it's a great track. I almost wish it could be almost stretched a little bit, where we maybe had a slightly longer straight down the back of the course. And
I think you're right. That's what it needs, doesn't it? Most of the circuits, probably from that era, just need stretching a little bit, and you get just that slightly better run.
It's great for the club racing. Oh! Big sideways for McFarlane as he pursues Evdoka. We're already over half distance, then lap 5 now of 8 here in round 44 of 44 in the Winter Series. Of course, the last Winter Series that we covered, I believe it was Kip Stevens that won that one.
That was the MX-5 one, wasn't it?
And Jamie Fluke took the one before that in the Kia. Fluke's going to be competing as a reserve for Apex Racing in the BSR TC, which starts very soon on Apex Racing TV. Taking this very slot Thursday evenings as usual. Looking forward to bringing that to you. Myself and Adam Bath will be bringing you all the coverage.
Yep, Mr. Kumo on the cams.
Oh, that'll be good. Good to see Sam back after his time in Germany. Back in Finland now and back to work for us. And off goes McFarlane. Big mistake there. He missed the braking and hit the sausage curb hard. Sent the car out of control a little bit. And well, Craig McLeod-Evans is having a great race, and he's only 1 second behind Evdoka. He's actually catching, so
Steve just can't keep with these guys. He's trying, he's desperate, but he's about half a second a lap slower now.
He's got damage, hasn't he? Look, see on the front, he's very crumpled.
Probably just enough, making just enough of a difference.
I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I think it is definitely contributing to the fact that he's 0.6 a lap slower than these guys. Mason's got past Max right down to 7th. Sperry and Burke having a good battle. It's over 8th and 9th, we'll see that. Oh dear me, there's not a lot of space there. Burke went on the grass, he tried to come back on. I think he might have a slow down penalty there. He cut the course at Coppice. Oh no, he's not serving it, so it seems like he's okay. Also got a quite a close fight for 10th place. Helgeson, Spencer and Stevens battling over the scraps.
You all got a bit of damage. Kip just staying out of the way, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's not had any practice really, it doesn't look like, so maybe just getting up to speed. Burke trying to have a dive on Sperry into the old hairpin. Sperry is on the grass, he drifts the car through there. It's a good exit actually. He might have a chance. Oh, he hits Burke. He hits Burke. Burke's gone wide. Well, that was a forceful move there by Jake Sperry. Burke up the inside. Slight nudge. And is that wheel damage for Jake Sperry? Oh, he's just wiggling the steering around to try and make sure it isn't. I think he's got away with it. Car behaved a bit strangely there. But Evdoka leads. McFarlane's out to 2nd. He must have taken Evans on that last lap. Hefford in P4. Lane in 5th. And it's Lane versus Mason. Is Mason going to have a look into turn 1? No, he doesn't. But he did just poke the nose out briefly down the straight just to make Taylor Lane think. Final lap already.
I know, it's crazy.
Final lap of the season, and just 3 kilometres to go. And Michael Evdoka, well, it's less than 3 kilometres for him. It's just over 1.5. Into Coppice then for the final time. Doka this time, hopefully, he will take it all the way to the checkered flag. He's wiggling the car around on the straights. I hope he does do his best in this final chicane. Oh, he does. And off goes McFarlane. He tries desperately to get on terms with him. The season finishes with Michael Evdoka on the top step of the podium. Ross McFarlane wins the championship.
Oh, very close between Taylor Lane and Shannon Mason.
Oh, it was just Lane by less than 1/10 of a second. Going to come through at the back as well. Helgeson, Spencer, and oh, we've lost Kip. Lost Kip on the final lap, I think. Unless he's gone for a Kip. I don't know, but he's not managed to finish the race there. But see the celebratory donuts going on. And that crowns the end of the season in the BSRTC Winter Series with the rallycross cars. I think we'll leave you with the images of them crashing around and doing donuts in the gravel, because that kind of sums up the sums it up a little bit. It's been all good fun. We've enjoyed it. We hope you have too. Just a quick rundown of the finishing order there. Michael Evdoka with the victory ahead of Craig Evans. He was in 2nd place. Ross McFarlane 3rd. Steve Hefford in 4th. Taylor Lane in 5th. Shannon Mason 6th place. Max Wright in 7th. Stephen Burke 8th. Jake Sperry in 9th. Thorstein Helgeson 10th. Callum Spencer 11th. And as we said, Kip Stevens finishing 1 lap down in 12th. Alex, final thoughts on the season then as it comes to a close here tonight?
Yeah, well, in the end, just a bit of a fun series, really, wasn't it? So I'm glad the people who were enjoying it stuck around to see it out. Congrats to obviously the guys that took the silverware. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be back with something a bit quirky in the Winter Series next year. But yeah, what that will be, I don't know. But yeah, for now, it's time for me to get ready for a whole season in the Kia.
Well, I suppose we might as well talk about it. What obviously the showdown's the target, but is it something you think is achievable then?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going to start the season off. I haven't got an awful lot of time for it, preparation-wise, so it's just going to be the day of the race is basically my prep time. So I would imagine I'll be a bit rusty and to start off with, and then I'll get better as the season progresses. So yeah, if those early rounds I can clock up some good points and not do what I did at Le Mans and get taken out in 3 of them, or not taken out but crash out on 3 of them, then I will, I'll be happy and put me in for good stead, and hopefully the performance comes towards the end of the season as I start to get a bit more comfortable with the car, and who knows then what can happen. Might just be able to have a little run in the showdown at the end.
Finish the races, mate. That's what I say.
Yep.
That's what I think you're going to
Worked in the Pro Series, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think you're going to have to do. All right, well, everybody, thank you very much for watching us all season here. Do not leave us, though, on a Thursday night. Stick around as the BSRTC resumes very, very soon indeed here on Apex Racing TV. We will be back. When will we be back?
That's a good question. Are we back?
That is a good question. I think it'll be Monday, won't it?
I think it might be Monday. I'm just going to quickly check if I can get myself logged in. See the calendar. I can't remember if it's this Saturday or are we off this weekend? Is it V8 Super?
You see, we should know these things, but we don't because
yeah.
we'll just blame the snow, right?
We have it on a system. That's my excuse. No, nothing this weekend. It's all clear. So yeah, Monday is.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll see you back then here on Apex Racing TV. Stick with us, and we will see you next time.